So let me ask you this. I mean, why do you think it's so challenging for many to actually say no? In theory, most people understand this concept, but in practice, it's much more challenging for people to do it. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's very hard for some people and it's easier for others. And I think there's two different camps to that. On the one hand, people who are super successful know that they have to say no in order to prioritize their time to be successful. And so they've gotten used to doing that. I think for most of us, we're in a different set. We're in a point where we care about our relationships. We don't want to offend people. We want to come across as being kind and gracious and helpful, all of which are good, great things. But I think sometimes we feel like that makes us have the commitment that we have to say yes. And instead of saying yes to the things that are the most important, or instead of saying yes to the things that really would help grow a relationship, instead we say yes to everything because that is more comfortable than saying no. And I have a dear, dear friend. She is in her 40s, but she lost her husband 5 years ago. And she now is a single mom and she's raising all of her kids by herself. And she has opportunities to do many things. And she says, oh, PTA keeps coming to me and they want me to be the PTA president and someone else wants me to do this volunteer position. And she says, of course I want to do it all. And she way overcommitted herself. And at the end of it, she said, why? Do I need to be the PTA president? No, that actually takes time away from being able to raise my kids. But because of the relationship she had with the people, and because she had been involved, she allowed herself to get caught into that situation of feeling like she was obligated to say yes. That she needed to say yes, and that saying yes was the only way that they would value her. And that is not the case. They continued to ask because she continued to say yes. And so they continued to give her additional opportunities. The reality is that wasn't the best use of her time. And she came to me almost in tears and said, I have to say no to some of these things because I'm trying to raise these kids and I'm spending more time at their school without them than I am with them.
So this is a question I know a lot of people have. So what are the benefits of, like, what do you notice when you start maybe controlling your time a little bit more, right? And saying, these are my non-negotiables, or this is what's most important as far as the value of my time. What are some benefits that you can find by saying no to things that you know you should say no to?
I think a big part of it is it allows you to prioritize things in the way that are truly best for you. However, you still have to do that. You still have to make that commitment to yourself and follow through on that every single day. Just because you protect a certain period of time doesn't mean it's going to have anything magical happen unless you actually put that into action. And so for me, I know there's a period of time during my day that is my preparation time, it is my personal time, it is my reflection time. It's where I connect with God, connect with myself, and prepare myself for the day. I've also realized if I schedule meetings or if I have meetings or appointments during those times, I don't do those activities at other times of the day. Once the day has gotten past a certain point, I don't rewind or I don't all of a sudden fit in a new time and place to do it. It just means I miss that time. So I think the power in being able to do it is giving yourself control to do the things that you know are the most important. Whether that's having some personal planning time, whether that's doing your exercise, whether that's connecting with your family, but you still have to actually go through and follow through on the action of doing what you set the time aside for. Because even if you set the time aside, if you don't follow through, then you're not going to receive those benefits. If you do follow through, then you have that rejuvenation of, oh, I got my run in and that's the most important thing. At least I know I did that even if nothing else today. Or, yep, I had time to actually plan out my day instead of just having it hit me as it is. Or I had the chance to pray and meditate and connect and read scripture or read uplifting materials. And that gives you a boost for the day. So I think the power is it allows you to have control over your time instead of your time having control over you. But you have to make sure to use your time in the way that you plan.
You know, I was just thinking as you were saying that, what about how, like, have you ever said no to something and initially you thought you made the wrong decision, but then you later come to find out it was the right decision?
When saying no was the right decision?
Yes, but initially you thought that you made the wrong decision by saying no.
So I had an experience just a little while ago where I was given the opportunity presented as an invitation to take on a leadership role for an industry group that I love and I'm passionate about and I am very, very involved in. And as they gave me this opportunity, my initial feeling was, yes, I should do this. This is a great opportunity. But it also started causing me a lot of stress in my mind, and I started thinking about it. And my initial response to them was, yeah, I think I could do this. Give me a little time. But my first response is yes. And then I started waking up at night having nightmares and realizing, oh, wow, I'm spending a lot of time and mental energy thinking about this thing that I just said yes to. And so I actually came back to them and said, no, I don't think that I should do this. I don't think the timing is right. And immediately I had this guilt set in on me and I thought, oh, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. Am I missing out? Am I not going to have the opportunity later to get into leadership? Is the organization going to be okay without me? All of these thoughts started going through my head. And I'd had many other people encourage me and say, you're going to make a great difference. You're going to lead and inspire people and they're going to love you and you're going to change so many lives. And so I felt like saying no was saying no to all those people that I might be able to help and serve. And yet I'd been having those nightmares and those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. And so I went ahead and said no. And then I questioned it and I questioned it and I questioned it. And it wasn't very long until other things started happening in my life. And my husband got offered a new position that was going to require a lot more time, not just his time, but my time and family time as well. And I had some personal things happen in life and some family situations. Had a family tragedy where my younger brother passed away unexpectedly. And all of these things took far more time and energy than I could have imagined, and none of them were things that I had planned for. And then I started to realize, oh my gosh, it's so good that I said no, that I listened to my gut and to my head when I was having those nightmares about that experience. Because if I had been committed, it would have been a very difficult commitment to step out of, to give myself the time and space that I needed to be able to help serve with my husband and to be there with my family and to deal with the things that were truly the most important things in my life, because I would have already prioritized something else as being more important.